Have you ever caught yourself delaying something important? Maybe you keep saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," but tomorrow never comes. Do you ever wonder why you procrastinate, even when you know it's harming your progress in life? What if the habit of laziness is quietly destroying your potential? Could it be the reason you're not where you want to be right now? Let's think about it. How often have you pushed aside a task, thinking you had plenty of time, only to feel regret later when the deadline passed? Laziness creeps into our lives in such subtle ways that we often don't realize the damage it's doing until it's too late. Imagine a student who keeps putting off studying for an exam, confident that they'll find time later. When the exam day arrives, panic sets in, all because of that one familiar phrase, "I'll do it later." This video is going to explore how laziness can be a silent destroyer, how it subtly eats away at your dreams and goals. And it's not just a modern-day problem. Even in ancient teachings like Buddhism, laziness is seen as one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and enlightenment. But what if you could recognize laziness before it sabotages you? What if you could defeat it and transform your life? Before we dive deeper into these valuable insights, welcome to Wisdom Woven, your go-to channel for life-changing wisdom and spiritual guidance. If you're finding value in these thoughts already, then let me tell you something. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of you have subscribed. Imagine how much more you could gain by staying connected. So, please, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more wisdom-filled content that can truly help you on your journey. Laziness is more than just a habit, it's a mindset. In Buddhism, it's understood that our mind, filled with distractions and desires, can easily lead us down the path of inaction. When you allow yourself to delay and avoid, it's not just the present moment you're losing, it's your future. Laziness creates a cycle that pulls you further away from your purpose, making you feel stuck and powerless. The Buddha taught that laziness, if not confronted, becomes a form of self-sabotage. It prevents us from living a life of true purpose and joy. But the good news is, by becoming aware of it, you can start to change. You can break free from the chains of inaction, and through mindfulness, discipline, and self-awareness, you can live a more fulfilling, productive life. In the following sections, we'll explore how you can identify laziness in your own life, what Buddhism teaches us about overcoming it, and actionable steps you can take to defeat this silent destroyer. The root of laziness in Buddhist teachings. Laziness is not just a simple choice. It's a deep-rooted condition that many of us experience. In Buddhist teachings, laziness is linked to the concept of kleshas, which are mental states that cloud our judgment and hinder our progress. Understanding the roots of laziness can help us combat its hold over our lives. At its core, laziness arises from attachment and desire. We desire comfort and instant gratification, seeking to avoid discomfort and effort. This desire leads to a kind of inertia, where the thought of taking action feels heavier than staying still. The Buddha taught that attachment leads to suffering, and laziness is one of the most insidious forms of attachment because it keeps us bound to our comfort zones. When we look at the Four Noble Truths, we see that the first truth is the acknowledgement of suffering. This suffering can manifest in many forms, and laziness is a silent sufferer. It brings about feelings of guilt, anxiety, and unfulfillment. We know we should be doing something, yet we choose to remain idle. This internal struggle can be exhausting. The second noble truth teaches us that the cause of suffering is attachment. This attachment doesn't only refer to physical things. It can also include our emotional attachments to laziness. We might cling to the idea that it's okay to relax today and push our responsibilities aside. This attachment grows stronger over time, forming habits that feel impossible to break. In the context of laziness, the third noble truth offers a glimmer of hope. The cessation of suffering is possible. This means that just as laziness can grow, it can also be unlearned. The key is understanding that we have the power to change our habits and thoughts. With mindfulness and awareness, we can begin to see laziness for what it is, a barrier to our true potential. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of right effort, one of the components of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right effort encourages us to cultivate good qualities and abandon negative ones. When we apply this principle to laziness, we recognize that the effort to change is essential. It starts with small steps, like setting achievable goals or dedicating specific times for tasks. For example, think about how you feel after a productive day. It's rewarding, isn't it? The satisfaction that comes from accomplishing something, no matter how small, reinforces positive habits. Conversely, when you let laziness win, you often end the day feeling regretful and unfulfilled. This emotional cycle can lead to a deeper sense of inertia, trapping you in a loop of procrastination. Buddhism also teaches us about the concept of impermanence, or anicca. Everything is constantly changing, including our habits. Just because you've been lazy in the past doesn't mean you have to remain that way. Recognizing the transient nature of laziness can motivate you to take action. If you understand that laziness is a temporary state, you can take the steps to break free from it. Another important aspect to consider is the role of mindfulness. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts and behaviors without judgment. When we become aware of the moments we choose laziness over action, we can start to change our reactions. Instead of falling into the familiar trap of procrastination, we can acknowledge the urge to be lazy and choose to act differently. One powerful practice is to develop a daily routine that includes moments of mindfulness and reflection. By intentionally setting aside time to think about your goals and intentions, you can create a clearer path toward productivity. Consider starting each day with a short meditation, focusing on what you want to accomplish. This simple act can anchor you and help you resist the pull of laziness. Laziness can also be rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. Buddhism teaches us to confront our fears, as they are often illusions that hold us back. When we acknowledge and face these fears, we empower ourselves to take action. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze us, we can use it as fuel to push forward. Engaging with supportive communities can also help combat laziness. Surrounding yourself with motivated individuals can inspire you to take action. Whether it's joining a study group, participating in community service, or simply sharing your goals with friends, accountability can drive you to overcome laziness. In Buddhism, the concept of sangha, or community, is essential for growth and support on our journey. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. When you catch yourself being lazy, rather than criticizing yourself, treat it as a learning opportunity. What triggered that laziness? How can you respond differently next time? Reflecting on these questions can help you develop a deeper understanding of your habits. Finally, it's essential to cultivate a mindset of gratitude. Recognize the efforts you make, no matter how small. Celebrating your progress reinforces positive behaviors and helps you move away from laziness. When you appreciate your accomplishments, you build a sense of momentum that propels you forward. In conclusion, the roots of laziness are complex, intertwining with our desires, attachments, and fears. By understanding these roots through the lens of Buddhist teachings, we can begin to unravel the hold laziness has on our lives. With awareness, mindfulness, and a commitment to change, we can break free from the chains of inaction and step into a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. The journey won't be easy, but every step toward overcoming laziness is a step toward liberation. The kleshas, mental states that breed laziness. In the journey of life, we often encounter obstacles that hinder our growth and peace. In Buddhism, we refer to these obstacles as kleshas. These are mental states that cloud our mind and prevent us from realizing our true potential. Among these kleshas, one of the most subtle yet powerful is laziness. It's important to understand how laziness fits into the broader context of these destructive mental states and how it affects our lives. Laziness, or torpor, is more than just a lack of motivation. It's a mental state that can trap us in a cycle of inaction, making us feel lethargic and uninspired. It creates a fog that dulls our senses, blurring our vision for what is possible. In our busy lives, it's easy to slip into this state, often without even realizing it. It might start with a small delay, deciding to scroll through your phone instead of completing a task. Before you know it, that small choice can turn into days, weeks, or even months of procrastination. The Buddha taught that laziness often arises from ignorance and attachment. We become attached to comfort, avoiding discomfort that comes with effort and change. This is a natural human tendency. We seek pleasure and shy away from pain. But in doing so, We often neglect the hard work required to achieve our goals and aspirations. The comfortable path feels safe, but it leads us away from growth. It keeps us trapped in our current circumstances, often resulting in feelings of regret and dissatisfaction. One of the most significant insights from Buddhist teachings is the understanding of right effort, which is part of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right effort encourages us to cultivate a balanced and dedicated approach to our endeavors. It teaches us to be mindful of our energy and intentions, urging us to focus on what truly matters. When laziness takes hold, we must remind ourselves that effort is essential for progress. It's through consistent, focused action that we can overcome the inertia of laziness. Imagine a beautiful garden. It needs constant care and attention to flourish. If you neglect it, the weeds will take over and the flowers will wilt. Your mind works in much the same way. If you allow laziness to take root, your dreams and aspirations will fade away. It requires continuous effort to nurture your goals. Just like the garden, every small action counts. Whether it's setting a daily intention, breaking tasks into smaller steps, or simply showing up for yourself even when motivation is low. Buddhism teaches us about the importance of mindfulness. Being aware of your thoughts and feelings can help you recognize when laziness is creeping in. Instead of pushing those feelings away, acknowledge them. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Why do I feel this way? This self-inquiry can help illuminate the deeper reasons behind your laziness. Sometimes, it may stem from fear of failure, perfectionism, or simply feeling overwhelmed. Once you understand these root causes, you can address them more effectively. In addition to mindfulness, developing a strong sense of purpose can combat laziness. When you are clear about your goals and why they matter to you, it becomes easier to summon the energy to act. Take some time to reflect on what you truly want in life. What are your passions? What makes you feel alive? When you align your actions with your values and aspirations, laziness loses its grip. You will find yourself motivated to take action, even when it feels difficult. Another powerful practice to overcome laziness is to cultivate discipline. Discipline isn't about being harsh with yourself. It's about creating healthy habits that support your growth. Start small. Commit to a few minutes each day dedicated to your goals. Whether it's writing, exercising, or learning something new, the key is consistency. Over time, those small actions build momentum, making it easier to overcome laziness. Remember, even the longest journey begins with a single step. As you work on overcoming laziness, it's essential to be gentle with yourself. Understand that everyone experiences periods of inactivity or lack of motivation. It's part of being human. Instead of beating yourself up, approach these moments with compassion. Reflect on what you need in those times. Do you need rest, a change of pace, or perhaps a shift in your environment? Self-compassion allows you to reset and return to your path without guilt. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of impermanence also plays a crucial role in combating laziness. Everything in life is temporary, including our time and opportunities. Recognizing that life is fleeting can motivate us to take action now. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. The perfect moment often never comes. Instead, take advantage of the present. Each day is a chance to move closer to your goals. Finally, surrounding yourself with supportive people can make a significant difference in overcoming laziness. Share your goals and intentions with friends or family who uplift you. Their encouragement can ignite your motivation and help keep you accountable. Remember, you don't have to journey alone. Community can provide strength and inspiration when your own energy is low. In summary, laziness is a powerful klesha that can obstruct our path to personal growth and fulfillment. By understanding the nature of laziness, cultivating mindfulness, and developing discipline, we can break free from its grasp. Remember that overcoming laziness is a process. Be patient with yourself, stay committed to your goals, and embrace the journey. As you do, you'll find that the fog of laziness begins to lift, revealing a clearer path toward your dreams and aspirations. Mindfulness as a cure for procrastination. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to become overwhelmed. We often find ourselves juggling multiple tasks, distracted by our phones, and pulled in many directions. This chaos can lead to a feeling of being stuck, where we procrastinate instead of taking action. However, mindfulness offers us a powerful tool to break free from this cycle of inaction. So, what is mindfulness? At its core, mindfulness is about being present in the moment. It means paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. Imagine you're drinking a cup of tea. Instead of gulping it down while scrolling through your phone, mindfulness invites you to truly savor each sip. You notice the warmth of the cup, the aroma of the tea, and the way it tastes. By grounding ourselves in the present, we create a space where procrastination struggles to exist. Mindfulness can be a remedy for procrastination because it helps us recognize the thoughts and emotions that lead to inaction. When we're mindful, we become aware of our habits and triggers. For example, you might notice that you often procrastinate when faced with a challenging task. Instead of ignoring this feeling, mindfulness encourages you to acknowledge it. You might say to yourself, "I feel anxious about starting this project." By recognizing the anxiety, you can address it rather than allowing it to control your actions. The simple way to cultivate mindfulness is through breathing exercises. Try this. Find a quiet spot and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold that breath for a moment, then slowly exhale through your mouth. As you breathe, focus solely on the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. If your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This practice can help calm your mind and increase your awareness, making it easier to tackle tasks without procrastination. Another powerful mindfulness technique is body scanning. This involves paying attention to different parts of your body and noticing any tension or discomfort. Begin at your toes and work your way up to the crown of your head. As you focus on each part, consciously relax any areas of tension. This exercise not only helps you become more aware of your body, but it also allows you to tune into how stress and tension might contribute to your tendency to procrastinate. Mindfulness also teaches us the importance of acceptance. When we accept our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we free ourselves from the burden of guilt and shame. Instead of criticizing ourselves for procrastinating, we can acknowledge that it happens to everyone. It's okay to feel this way, we can say. I'm human, and I can learn from this experience. This shift in perspective makes it easier to move forward, reducing the urge to procrastinate. Moreover, practicing mindfulness enhances our ability to focus. When we're present, we can give our full attention to the task at hand. This focus not only helps us complete tasks more efficiently, but also reduces the overwhelm that often leads to procrastination. For example, if you're working on a project, try breaking it down into smaller, manageable steps. Approach each step with mindfulness. Instead of thinking about the entire project, concentrate on the current step. This makes it easier to stay engaged and motivated. Mindfulness can also create a sense of urgency. When we become aware of how fleeting time is, we're less likely to put things off. Each moment becomes precious. Instead of saying, "I'll do it later," we can remind ourselves that now is the time to act. This mindset shift can be incredibly empowering, helping us break free from the procrastination trap. In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is often associated with the concept of right effort. Right effort encourages us to cultivate positive states of mind and reduce negative ones. When we practice mindfulness, we're making an effort to stay present and focused. This aligns perfectly with our goal of overcoming laziness and procrastination. Furthermore, mindfulness fosters self-compassion. When we're kind to ourselves, we create a nurturing environment that supports our growth. Instead of berating ourselves for procrastinating, we can offer ourselves understanding and encouragement. This self-compassion helps us move forward with renewed motivation and energy. As we become more mindful, we may also discover underlying fears or beliefs that contribute to our procrastination. Perhaps you fear failure, or you feel unworthy of success. By bringing these fears to the surface, we can begin to address them. Mindfulness encourages us to explore these feelings with curiosity rather than judgment. What is this fear trying to teach me? We can ask. This exploration allows us to uncover insights that can propel us forward. In addition, mindfulness can help us set clear intentions. When we're mindful, we can articulate our goals and desires more clearly. Instead of saying, "I want to be productive," we can say, "I will spend the next hour working on my project." This clarity gives us a roadmap to follow. reducing the likelihood of procrastination. Incorporating mindfulness into our daily lives doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to pause, breathe, and check in with ourselves. Whether it's during a morning routine, a lunch break, or before bed, these moments of mindfulness can create a ripple effect, enhancing our overall well-being and productivity. Remember, the goal of mindfulness isn't to eliminate procrastination completely. Instead, it's about developing awareness and understanding of our habits. By embracing mindfulness, we empower ourselves to take action, even when faced with resistance. It's about making small, intentional choices that lead us closer to our goals. As we continue our journey through the teachings of Buddhism, let's carry this mindfulness with us. It's a valuable tool that can help us combat laziness and procrastination, allowing us to live more fulfilled lives. By being present and engaged in our actions, we can transform our approach to tasks and create a brighter, more productive future. Karma and the consequences of inaction. Let's delve into a fundamental principle that connects our actions and their outcomes: karma. In Buddhism, karma is often understood as the law of cause and effect. Simply put, every action we take, whether it's a word spoken, a deed done, or even a thought held, sets off a chain reaction that influences our future. It's essential to grasp this idea if we want to overcome laziness and take charge of our lives. When we speak of laziness, we are referring to the inaction that follows our hesitation or procrastination. Each time we choose to delay an important task, we are creating a negative karmic footprint. For example, imagine a gardener who neglects to water their plants. The initial choice to avoid the task seems minor, but as days pass, the plants wilt, the soil hardens, and soon, it becomes too late to revive them. This neglect mirrors our own lives. The longer we procrastinate, the more we miss out on growth opportunities. Karma teaches us that inaction is also an action. By choosing not to act, we are effectively making a choice that can lead to unfavorable consequences. When we avoid responsibilities or opportunities for personal development, we not only hinder our progress but also create a pattern that can affect other aspects of our lives. This cycle of inaction can become so ingrained that we start to believe we are incapable of making a change. Consider the story of a young monk who aspired to achieve enlightenment. He had all the potential, the right guidance, and the teachings of the Buddha to follow. However, he became so comfortable in his daily routine that he neglected his meditation practice. Days turned into weeks, and his commitment waned. While he believed he was still on the path, the reality was that his laziness was pulling him further from his goal. The consequences of his inaction were not immediate but accumulated over time, leading to a deeper sense of discontent. This monk's journey reminds us that every moment of inaction can be seen as a missed opportunity for growth. The key to understanding karma lies in recognizing that it's not just about what we do, but also about what we fail to do. Each day presents us with choices. When we choose to act with intention, we create positive karma that will manifest in our lives as opportunities, successes, and inner peace. Conversely, when we let laziness take over, we sow seeds of regret, missed chances, and dissatisfaction. To illustrate this further, think about a student who regularly puts off studying for exams. Instead of dedicating time to learning, they choose to binge watch their favorite series. At first, it feels harmless and even enjoyable. But as the exam date approaches, stress and anxiety kick in. The karmic consequences of their inaction become clear: poor performance, missed grades, and ultimately, a sense of failure. Now, it's important to realize that karma is not a punishment. Rather, it's a natural result of our choices. Just as a seed planted in fertile soil can blossom into a beautiful flower, taking the right action can lead to rewarding outcomes. Conversely, neglecting our responsibilities or opportunities is akin to planting a seed in barren land. No matter how much time passes, it will not bear fruit. So how can we turn this understanding of karma into a tool for overcoming laziness? The first step is mindfulness. By being aware of our choices, we can better understand how each action, or inaction, shapes our future. Practicing mindfulness helps us recognize when we're slipping into lazy habits, giving us the chance to redirect our energy and efforts toward constructive actions. Another effective method is to set small, achievable goals. Instead of overwhelming ourselves with large tasks that feel daunting, break them down into smaller, manageable pieces. By accomplishing these smaller goals, we create positive momentum that helps us build good karma. For instance, if we want to start exercising regularly, we might commit to just 5 minutes of movement each day. Over time, this small action can blossom into a daily routine that brings vitality and health. Additionally, reflecting on the consequences of inaction can provide motivation. Ask yourself, what do I stand to lose if I continue to procrastinate? What doors will remain closed? By acknowledging the potential pitfalls of laziness, we can inspire ourselves to take action rather than retreat into comfort. Moreover, connecting with a community or finding an accountability partner can be powerful. Sharing your goals with others can create a supportive environment that encourages action. When you know someone else is counting on you, it can push you to overcome your lazy tendencies and follow through on your commitments. Karma also teaches us about the importance of intention. When we act with genuine purpose, we set positive karma in motion. If your intention is to learn, grow, and improve, your actions will align with that purpose. This alignment creates a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction that combats the emptiness often felt in laziness. In the end, the relationship between karma and laziness serves as a reminder that we have the power to shape our lives through our actions. Each moment presents us with the opportunity to create a future that reflects our deepest desires and aspirations. By recognizing the consequences of inaction and choosing to act with intention, we can break free from the cycle of laziness and move toward a life filled with purpose, joy, and growth. So, the next time you find yourself tempted to procrastinate, remember the law of karma. Reflect on the long-term effects of your choices. Choose to take action, no matter how small, because every step you take, however minor it may seem, sets off a ripple effect that can lead to profound changes in your life. By overcoming laziness, you open the door to a brighter, more fulfilling future. Overcoming sloth with right effort. In the teachings of Buddhism, one of the key concepts is the idea of right effort. This principle is part of the Noble Eightfold Path, which is a guide for living a life that leads to enlightenment. But what exactly does right effort mean? And how can it help us overcome sloth and laziness in our daily lives? Right effort is about making the conscious choice to engage in positive actions while letting go of negative ones. It's the bridge between awareness and action. You see, it's not enough just to be aware of laziness. We must actively work against it. This requires determination, but the good news is that you have the power to choose every single day. Imagine you wake up in the morning. You have a full day ahead, with tasks that need your attention. The mind might say, just 5 more minutes in bed. But if you practice right effort, you can remind yourself of your goals and the importance of starting your day with purpose. Instead of falling back into sloth, you can rise with intention, setting the tone for the day. One way to cultivate right effort is through mindfulness. When you are mindful, you become aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. If you notice a feeling of laziness creeping in, acknowledge it. Instead of pushing it away, understand why you feel that way. Is it fatigue? Fear of failure? By identifying the root cause, you can address it more effectively. Let's say you're faced with a daunting task, like writing a report or studying for an exam. Your first instinct might be to procrastinate. But with right effort, you can break that task into smaller, manageable pieces. Instead of saying, "I'll do it later," tell yourself, "I will work on this for just 15 minutes." You'd be surprised how often that small commitment leads to longer periods of productivity. Once you start, you often find the energy and motivation to continue. Another essential aspect of right effort is to cultivate wholesome thoughts and attitudes. Surround yourself with positivity. This could be through reading inspiring texts, spending time with encouraging friends, or engaging in activities that uplift your spirit. When your mind is filled with positive energy, it becomes easier to take action and avoid the trap of laziness. It's also crucial to recognize that effort doesn't always mean force. Sometimes, we think of effort as a struggle or hard work, which can be overwhelming. But right effort can be gentle too. It's about creating a flow in your life, where actions come naturally because they are aligned with your values and purpose. When you find joy in what you do, laziness loses its grip on you. In Buddhist practice, there is a focus on balance. Right effort doesn't mean overexertion or burning out. It's about finding that sweet spot where you push yourself just enough to grow, but not so much that you feel drained. This balance is essential for sustainable change. Now, let's talk about habits. The power of habit is significant in overcoming laziness. When you make small, consistent efforts over time, you can create positive habits that replace slothful tendencies. Start by setting a specific time each day for productive activities. Perhaps it's dedicating an hour in the morning to reading or working on a project. Consistency is key. When you make this a regular part of your routine, it becomes easier to maintain. Moreover, don't forget the importance of self-compassion. If you find yourself falling back into old patterns of laziness, be gentle with yourself. Recognize that everyone struggles at times. Instead of feeling defeated, see it as an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? This reflective practice helps build resilience, enabling you to bounce back stronger. As you embark on this journey of overcoming sloth, remember to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every time you choose action over inaction, acknowledge it. This creates a positive feedback loop that encourages you to keep going. When you recognize your efforts, you'll feel more motivated to continue striving for your goals. Incorporating mindfulness practices into your daily life can also enhance your ability to practice right effort. Techniques such as meditation and breathing exercises can help clear your mind and improve your focus. When your mind is calm, it becomes easier to recognize when laziness arises and to redirect your energy toward productive activities. Consider also engaging in community activities or group projects. Working with others can provide motivation and accountability. When you see others striving towards their goals, it can inspire you to push through your own moments of sloth. The collective energy of a group can often outweigh individual inertia. Furthermore, remember that overcoming laziness is a gradual process. It takes time to cultivate right effort and to develop new habits. Be patient with yourself. Progress may come in small steps, but each step is a victory in itself. In conclusion, right effort is not just about hard work. It's a holistic approach to living intentionally. By recognizing laziness and actively choosing to engage in positive actions, you can overcome the silent threat of sloth. Embrace the journey, and you will find that every effort you make brings you closer to your goals and a more fulfilling life. By integrating these principles, you can transform your relationship with effort and discover the joy of living with purpose. The power of discipline in the path to enlightenment. Discipline is the key that unlocks the door to progress. In our journey through life, we often encounter distractions, temptations, and moments of weakness. These are the times when our commitment to our goals is tested. Just like a river that flows smoothly when its banks are well defined, our lives can run more efficiently when we establish discipline. Imagine a gardener tending to a beautiful garden. Every day, the gardener waters the plants, pulls out the weeds, and nurtures the soil. This daily commitment transforms a patch of dirt into a lush, vibrant garden. Now, think about your own life. If you don't cultivate discipline, your dreams and aspirations can easily get choked out by the weeds of laziness and procrastination. In Buddhism, discipline is not just about strict rules or rigid structures. It's a gentle commitment to yourself and your goals. This kind of discipline arises from a deep understanding of your own mind and the nature of existence. It's about being present and aware of your actions, thoughts, and feelings. When you practice discipline, you create a positive cycle that encourages growth and transformation. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is the concept of right effort. This means striving to cultivate wholesome qualities and abandon unwholesome ones. It's about putting in the necessary work to develop your mind and character. This effort requires discipline, as it asks you to stay focused on your goals even when distractions arise. When you embrace right effort, you create a path that leads to enlightenment and fulfillment. Let's take a moment to reflect on the importance of routine. Just like the seasons change, life is filled with cycles. Establishing a daily routine is a powerful way to cultivate discipline. By setting aside specific times for work, study, exercise, and meditation, you create a rhythm in your life that supports your goals. This structure provides a sense of security and direction, helping you to stay on track. Picture a mountain climber preparing for their ascent. Each day, they follow a specific training regimen, building their strength and endurance. This disciplined approach ensures that they are physically and mentally ready for the challenges ahead. Similarly, when you commit to your daily practices, you prepare yourself for the challenges life throws your way. But let's not forget that discipline doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It's essential to approach your journey with kindness and compassion. When you slip up or face setbacks, don't judge yourself harshly. Instead, acknowledge the moment, learn from it, and return to your disciplined path. Just like a tree bends with the wind but doesn't break, you can adapt while remaining steadfast in your commitment. A common struggle many people face is the battle against distractions. In today's world, with smartphones, social media, and endless entertainment, it's easy to lose focus. However, practicing mindfulness can help you develop the discipline to resist these temptations. Mindfulness allows you to be fully present in each moment, making it easier to stay committed to your goals. Consider a musician who practices their instrument daily. With each note played and each song mastered, they are cultivating discipline. This discipline translates into mastery and creativity. The same applies to you. Whether it's your career, hobbies, or personal growth, the more you practice discipline, the more proficient and confident you become. Moreover, discipline fosters resilience. Life will always have its ups and downs, but when you're disciplined, you develop the strength to push through challenges. Think about the last time you faced a difficult situation. Did you find the strength to persevere? That resilience often comes from a foundation of discipline. It's the understanding that even in tough times, you can return to your practices and maintain your focus. Another powerful aspect of discipline is its ability to create momentum. When you start taking small steps consistently, you build positive energy. Just as a snowball rolls down a hill, gaining size and speed, your disciplined efforts can lead to significant progress over time. It's the little actions taken each day that compound into substantial achievements. To cultivate discipline, consider setting clear intentions. Write down your goals, both short-term and long-term. When you articulate your desires, you create a roadmap for your journey. Each day, review your goals and remind yourself why they matter. This practice keeps your vision alive and strengthens your commitment to stay disciplined. Additionally, accountability can enhance your discipline. Share your goals with a friend or join a community with similar aspirations. Having someone to check in with can motivate you to stay on track. When you share your journey with others, it becomes a source of inspiration and support. As you work on developing discipline, remember that progress is not always linear. There will be days when you feel on top of the world, and other days when it feels like you're moving backward. Embrace this ebb and flow. Each experience is an opportunity to learn and grow. Just like a river flows, sometimes fast and sometimes slow, your journey will have its own rhythm. In Buddhism, the practice of discipline is closely linked to the concept of sila, or ethical conduct. This means living in harmony with yourself and others. When you cultivate discipline, you not only enhance your own life, but also contribute positively to the lives of those around you. A disciplined individual radiates positivity and inspires others to strive for their own goals. Let's also touch upon the importance of self-reflection. Take time to sit quietly and examine your thoughts and behaviors. What areas of your life need more discipline? Where do you find yourself giving in to laziness? By reflecting on these questions, you can gain valuable insights that will guide your journey. Finally, remember that discipline is a practice, not a destination. It's about embracing the journey and recognizing that every step you take is an opportunity for growth. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and keep moving forward. As you cultivate discipline, you'll find yourself not only overcoming laziness, but also unlocking your full potential. As you navigate this path, keep in mind that the journey toward discipline is deeply personal. Each individual's experience is unique, shaped by their circumstances, challenges, and desires. Stay patient with yourself and trust in the process. The more you embrace discipline, the closer you'll come to realizing your true self and achieving your dreams. Remember, every step counts on the road to enlightenment. Laziness and the wheel of samsara. Imagine a wheel spinning endlessly. This is the wheel of samsara, a central concept in Buddhism that represents the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. Just like the wheel, our lives can sometimes feel like they're going around in circles. We find ourselves stuck, unable to move forward, and that stagnation often stems from laziness. Laziness isn't just about not wanting to work. It's a mindset that can trap us in this cycle of suffering. When we become lazy, we miss out on opportunities to grow and learn. Instead of moving forward, we stay in the same place, repeating the same mistakes, facing the same challenges, and feeling the same dissatisfaction. This cycle can become so familiar that we start to believe it's normal. But it's not. It's a form of bondage. In Buddhism, the concept of samsara teaches us that our actions have consequences, and laziness leads to negative outcomes. When we are lazy, we ignore our responsibilities, and those ignored responsibilities can build up. This can lead to stress, anxiety, and regret. Instead of finding peace, we create more suffering for ourselves. It's a vicious cycle. The more we let laziness take hold, the harder it is to break free from it. Think about it. When we avoid doing what needs to be done, we create a backlog of tasks and responsibilities. This only adds to our stress and can make us feel overwhelmed. It's like standing in a room filled with clutter. The mess can become so big that it's hard to see a way out. Just as you can't find peace in a messy room, you can't find peace in a life full of unfulfilled obligations. The Buddha taught that awareness is key to breaking this cycle. By recognizing when we are being lazy, we can take the first step towards change. Awareness allows us to see our patterns clearly. When we notice that we are procrastinating or avoiding tasks, we can ask ourselves why. What are we afraid of? What do we gain by being lazy? Often, we discover that our laziness is tied to fear, insecurity, or a lack of purpose. In the context of the wheel of samsara, laziness keeps us trapped in ignorance. We can't move forward spiritually or personally if we are stuck in old habits. The first noble truth of Buddhism teaches us that life is suffering, and laziness contributes to that suffering. But it's essential to remember that suffering isn't a permanent state. It can be transformed through awareness and effort. Imagine you are walking along a path. If you stop walking, you'll find yourself back where you started. But if you keep moving, even if it's slow, you'll eventually reach your destination. Laziness is like standing still on that path. We become complacent, and before we know it, we're back where we began, stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction. So, how do we break this cycle? The answer lies in mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present and aware of our thoughts and actions. When we are mindful, we can recognize when laziness creeps in and choose to take action instead. It's like shining a light in a dark room. Suddenly, we can see what we need to do. One effective way to combat laziness is by setting small, achievable goals. Instead of looking at the mountain of tasks ahead, focus on one step at a time. This makes it easier to take action. For example, if you have a big project due, start with one small task related to that project. Completing even a small part can create a sense of accomplishment and motivate you to continue. Another powerful tool is to cultivate a sense of purpose. When we understand why we are doing something, it becomes easier to stay motivated. Reflect on your goals and the reasons behind them. What do you hope to achieve? How will accomplishing your tasks help you grow? When we align our actions with our values, we are less likely to fall into the trap of laziness. Additionally, finding inspiration can be incredibly helpful. Surround yourself with people who motivate you, read books that inspire you, or engage with content that ignites your passion. When we immerse ourselves in positivity, it becomes easier to take action and move forward. Also, consider the teachings of the Buddha on right effort. This principle encourages us to cultivate positive states of mind and abandon negative ones. By consciously choosing to put in the effort, we can break the chains of laziness. This doesn't mean pushing ourselves to exhaustion. It means finding a balance between effort and ease. The journey to overcome laziness is a process. It's about making small changes consistently and being gentle with ourselves when we falter. Remember, every time you choose to take action, no matter how small, you are moving away from the cycle of laziness and closer to a more fulfilling life. In this journey, self-compassion is essential. We all have moments of laziness. It's part of being human. Instead of judging ourselves harshly, we can acknowledge these moments and choose to do better next time. Each day is an opportunity to begin anew, to step off the wheel of samsara and move towards a path of growth and enlightenment. Ultimately, Breaking free from laziness allows us to experience life more fully. We can embrace new opportunities, engage with our passions, and connect with others on a deeper level. When we actively participate in our lives, we create a ripple effect that influences not only our well-being, but also those around us. So, as you reflect on your own life, consider how laziness may be keeping you stuck. What small changes can you make today to start breaking that cycle? By taking action, you not only free yourself, but also move closer to a life filled with purpose and joy. Embrace the journey and remember that every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to liberation from the wheel of samsara. Buddhist stories on the dangers of laziness. In the vast ocean of Buddhist teachings, there are many stories that highlight the dangers of laziness. These stories not only offer profound lessons, but also resonate with our everyday lives. Today, let us journey through a few of these tales, reflecting on how they illustrate the perilous path of inaction. One of the most famous stories is about a monk named Sangha. He lived in a small village where he was known for his dedication to meditation and teachings. However, there came a time when Sangha became overwhelmed with his daily tasks. Instead of taking time to meditate, he started pushing it aside, convincing himself that he was too busy to sit quietly. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. As the months passed, Sangha noticed something troubling. His mind became restless, and he felt increasingly anxious. The clarity he once had was fading. One day, while walking through the village, he met an old friend who asked him how his meditation practice was going. Sangha, ashamed, admitted he hadn't meditated in weeks. The friend replied, "You can do everything else, but don't neglect your mind. It needs care, just like your body." This conversation struck Sangha deeply. He realized that by allowing laziness to creep into his life, he was neglecting the very thing that brought him peace and purpose. From that moment, he made a commitment to prioritize his meditation practice, setting aside time each day to connect with his mind and spirit. This story teaches us that when we let laziness take over, we risk losing the clarity and peace that comes from being mindful. Another powerful story is about a king named Siddhartha. He was wise and just but faced a dilemma. His kingdom was thriving, yet he noticed that his subjects were becoming complacent. They no longer cared for their responsibilities or the welfare of the kingdom. Instead, they spent their days in idle pursuits, forgetting the values that once held their society together. One day, Siddhartha gathered his subjects and shared a tale of a gardener who had a beautiful garden. The gardener poured love and attention into every plant, ensuring they thrived. But as time went by, he became lazy and stopped caring for the garden. Weeds began to overtake the flowers, and soon, the garden was a shadow of its former glory. Siddhartha asked his people, "What happened to the garden?" The people responded, "It fell into ruin because of neglect." The king then made a connection to their lives, reminding them that just as the garden needed tending, so did their responsibilities and community. Through this story, Siddhartha emphasized that laziness can lead to decline, not just in personal lives, but also in the collective well-being of a society. Let's move to a story about a young student named Kavi. Kavi was intelligent and had great potential. He was determined to become a great scholar, but he often found himself distracted by games and idle chatter with friends. Every time he sat down to study, he would think, "Just a little more time with my friends won't hurt." One evening, while walking home, Kavi encountered an old monk. The monk asked him what he was studying. Kavi proudly replied, "I am preparing for the great examination." The monk raised an eyebrow and asked, "Then why do you spend so much time away from your studies?" Kavi hesitated, realizing he had been letting his laziness govern his choices. The monk shared a simple yet profound lesson. Every moment wasted is a moment lost. Your potential is like a river. It flows continuously. If you let obstacles block its path, it will dry up. Inspired by the monk's words, Kavi decided to change his habits. He began to prioritize his studies, setting aside specific times to focus, free from distractions. Through Kavi's story, we learn that laziness can become a barrier to achieving our dreams. Recognizing this barrier is the first step to overcoming it. By dedicating our time wisely, we can allow our potential to flow freely. There's also the tale of Ananda, one of the Buddha's closest disciples. Ananda was known for his memory and knowledge, but he struggled with consistent practice. He would often learn the teachings of the Buddha, but fail to apply them in his daily life. Ananda would think, "I'll start practicing tomorrow." But tomorrow always turned into another day of inaction. One day, while walking with the Buddha, Ananda expressed his frustration. The Buddha smiled and said, "Ananda, your knowledge is like a beautiful flower, but if you do not water it with practice, it will wilt." This simple metaphor struck Ananda. He understood that knowledge without action is meaningless. From that day forward, Ananda made a commitment to not only learn but also practice the teachings. He began to embody the principles he had studied, bringing them to life in his interactions and daily activities. Ananda's story reminds us that knowledge alone is not enough. We must act on our insights to truly grow and transform. Finally, let's reflect on the story of the tortoise and the hare, a classic tale that transcends cultures. In this story, the overconfident hare often mocks the slow-moving tortoise. Tired of the hare's teasing, the tortoise challenges him to a race. Confident of his swift abilities, the hare takes off at lightning speed, while the tortoise plods along at his own pace. As the hare dashes far ahead, he decides to take a nap, thinking he has plenty of time to win. Meanwhile, the tortoise keeps moving forward, steady and determined. When the hare wakes up, he realizes the tortoise is nearing the finish line. Despite his efforts to catch up, the tortoise wins the race. This story conveys a powerful lesson. Sometimes, it's not the fastest or most talented who succeed, but those who are diligent and persistent. Laziness can lead to complacency, while consistent effort, no matter how slow, can lead to success. These stories remind us of the pervasive danger of laziness in our lives. They teach us that laziness can undermine our progress, cloud our clarity, and prevent us from reaching our full potential. The wisdom of these tales echoes the teachings of Buddhism, emphasizing the importance of mindfulness, discipline, and consistent effort in the pursuit of personal growth and enlightenment. As we reflect on these narratives, let us ask ourselves, are we allowing laziness to take hold in our lives? Are we neglecting our responsibilities and dreams? It is time to break free from the grip of inaction and commit to living with intention. By embracing diligence, we can nurture our minds, cultivate our potential, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. The role of meditation in battling laziness. In the peaceful practice of meditation, we find a powerful tool against laziness. But how does this ancient tradition connect with our daily struggles of inaction? Let's explore how meditation can awaken our energy and motivation, transforming our approach to life. When we think of meditation, many might imagine sitting cross-legged on a cushion, eyes closed, and surrounded by tranquility. But meditation is much more than just that serene image. At its core, it is a practice of focus and awareness. It teaches us to be present, to observe our thoughts without judgment, and to cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves. In a world filled with distractions, meditation serves as an anchor, helping us ground our minds and hearts. Laziness often stems from a lack of awareness. We might not realize when we slip into procrastination or when we allow distractions to take over our lives. By practicing meditation regularly, we sharpen our ability to recognize these patterns. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, we can see the obstacles that were once hidden. When we meditate, we create a space for reflection. We can ask ourselves, what tasks have I been avoiding? Why do I feel this way? This self-inquiry can reveal the underlying fears or anxieties that contribute to our laziness. Consider this. When we meditate, we observe our breath, focusing on the rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. This simple act pulls us into the present moment. In this space of stillness, we can feel our energy. When we are aware of our breath, we connect with the life force within us. This connection reminds us that we have the ability to act. Meditation energizes us and fosters a sense of clarity. After a session, we often feel lighter and more motivated to tackle tasks that once seemed daunting. But what about the mind's chatter? That nagging voice that tells us to delay or to give in to comfort? Meditation helps us quiet that inner critic. When we sit in silence, we learn to let thoughts come and go without getting caught up in them. We realize that thoughts of laziness and procrastination do not define us. Instead, They are simply passing clouds in the sky of our mind. As we practice letting these thoughts drift away, we cultivate a sense of detachment from them. This detachment empowers us to take action rather than remain passive. In Buddhism, there is a concept known as right effort. It refers to the balanced and determined approach to our actions. Through meditation, we can develop this right effort. Instead of forcing ourselves to complete tasks out of obligation, we begin to engage with them joyfully and willingly. Meditation encourages us to approach our responsibilities with a sense of purpose. It helps us shift our mindset from "I have to" "I choose to." This simple change in language can be transformative. Meditation also teaches us about impermanence. In life, everything is constantly changing, including our energy levels and motivation. When we meditate, we come to understand that moments of laziness are just that, moments. They will pass. We learn to ride the waves of our feelings, recognizing that we don't have to act on every impulse. This understanding can reduce the pressure we feel to be productive all the time, allowing us to approach tasks with a more relaxed mindset. Imagine a busy student preparing for exams. Instead of succumbing to the pressure of cramming, they take a few minutes to meditate each day. In those moments of stillness, they allow their mind to settle and their thoughts to clarify. As a result, they return to their studies with renewed focus and a clearer plan. They learn to prioritize their tasks and break them into manageable steps, making them less overwhelming. The laziness that once held them back is replaced by a sense of clarity and purpose. Another powerful aspect of meditation is its ability to foster compassion, not only for others, but also for ourselves. When we notice laziness creeping in, we can be gentle with ourselves. Instead of berating ourselves for being unproductive, we can practice self-compassion. We acknowledge that everyone experiences moments of laziness and that it's part of the human experience. This kindness allows us to move forward without guilt, making it easier to take the next step. Furthermore, group meditation can amplify this effect. When we sit with others, we draw from the collective energy of the group. The shared intention to cultivate mindfulness and presence can motivate us to stay committed to our practice and our goals. Whether in a formal meditation session or simply meditating alongside friends, this connection can inspire us to overcome laziness together. In addition to all these benefits, meditation can also enhance our overall well-being. Studies have shown that regular meditation reduces stress and anxiety, increases focus, and improves emotional health. When we feel good mentally and emotionally, we are naturally more inclined to take action. It becomes easier to engage in tasks, no matter how small, and build momentum. Ultimately, meditation is not a magic solution that will eliminate laziness overnight. It is a journey, a daily practice that requires patience and commitment. The more we engage with meditation, the more we cultivate the awareness and energy needed to combat laziness. As we develop a consistent practice, we find ourselves naturally gravitating toward action. Tasks that once seemed tedious become opportunities for growth and learning. Each step we take, no matter how small, is a step toward our goals. So, if you find yourself battling laziness, consider incorporating meditation into your daily routine. Begin with just a few minutes each day. Find a quiet space, focus on your breath, and allow your thoughts to settle. With time, you will discover that meditation can be a guiding light in your quest for a more active and fulfilling life. In this fast-paced world, take a moment to pause and reflect. Embrace the stillness and let it empower you to move forward with intention. Laziness may be a formidable opponent, but with meditation as your ally, you can awaken the energy within and reclaim your life. Finding purpose and awakening diligence. In the journey of life, it's easy to lose sight of our purpose. We get caught up in the daily grind, distracted by our responsibilities, and we often forget why we started in the first place. Finding purpose is crucial to overcoming laziness. When you have a clear reason for doing something, it ignites a fire within you, pushing you to take action. So, how do we reconnect with our purpose? Let's begin by reflecting on what truly matters to you. Take a moment to think about your passions, your values, and the things that bring you joy. What makes you feel alive? It could be art, helping others, or pursuing knowledge. When you align your daily tasks with your passions, laziness starts to fade away. You become excited to engage in your work because it resonates with who you are. But there is hope, and that hope lies in your ability to change. In these moments, take a breath. Pause. Ask yourself, is this how I want to live? Is this what I want for my future? When you bring awareness to your actions, you take back control. You can choose to act instead of letting laziness make the choice for you. Another powerful tool is discipline. Discipline is often seen as something harsh or unpleasant, but it's not. Discipline is your friend. It's what helps you stay on track when your mind wants to wander. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when the road gets tough. Think of it as the rope that pulls you up when you're stuck in a hole. Without it, you may stay in that hole forever. But with it, you climb out, one step at a time, until you reach the top. In Buddhism, there's a concept called right effort. This is part of the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the Buddha's guide to ending suffering and achieving enlightenment. Right effort means putting in the right amount of energy, not too much, not too little, to achieve your goals. It means being consistent in your efforts, even when it's hard. It means not giving up when things don't go your way. Laziness is often the result of giving up too easily. We start something with excitement, but as soon as it gets difficult or boring, we stop. We tell ourselves it's too hard, or that we'll try again later. But later never comes. Right effort teaches us to keep going, to push through those moments of doubt or discomfort, knowing that the reward is worth it. And what is that reward? It's not just success in your career or achieving your goals. It's something much deeper. It's the feeling of satisfaction that comes from knowing you did your best. It's the peace of mind that comes from living in alignment with your values. It's the joy that comes from living a life of purpose, not just drifting through it. But perhaps the most important thing to remember is that you don't have to do this alone. On this journey to overcome laziness, you will have moments of weakness. You will have days when you don't feel like trying. That's okay. It's part of being human. What matters is that you don't stay in that place. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who lift you up when you're down, who hold you accountable. Find a community, like this one here on Wisdom Woven, where we are all striving to become better, more mindful, more disciplined versions of ourselves. And don't forget, be kind to yourself. Laziness is a habit that has likely been with you for years. It won't disappear overnight, but with patience, persistence, and a commitment to change, you will start to see progress. Celebrate the small victories. Every time you choose action over laziness, you are one step closer to living the life you truly want. So, as we wrap up this final part, I want you to take a moment to reflect. Think about your life as it is right now. Think about the dreams you have, the person you want to become, the goals you want to achieve. Now, imagine what your life could look like if you defeated laziness. Imagine waking up every day with energy, purpose, and excitement for what lies ahead. Imagine feeling proud of yourself, knowing that you are living up to your full potential. This isn't just a fantasy. It's possible, but it starts with you. It starts with the choices you make today, right now, in this moment. Will you continue to let laziness control your life? Or will you take back control and start living the life you were meant to live? Thank you for staying with us through this journey. Remember, you have the power to transform your life. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Keep going, keep striving, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Before we end, let me remind you one last time. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of you have subscribed. If this video has resonated with you, if you found value in what we've shared, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Together, we can continue on this journey of growth, wisdom, and transformation. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.